Yeah. My first question is, what's your hardest fight been so far in your career?
So far, I would say in my amateur career, my hardest fight was against a lad called Delicious Ori. He's now the GB #1 super heavyweight in the amateur scene, and he's also the national champion. So coming through the amateur ranks, he was one of my toughest fights. And so far, my last professional fight against Phil Williams was probably my toughest professional fight. Phil's really awkward. He's an experienced professional, and he gave me a really hard time before I managed to stop him. So he would be my tough professional fight.
I was watching that fight, mate, and Phil doesn't get stopped that often.
No, he doesn't. That's what I mean. He knows he's a very experienced pro. He knows what he's doing. So it was hard to get him out of there, but I was glad when I eventually did. I was pleased.
Yeah. Of course, your debut was on the Conor Benn versus Samuel Vargas fight. Were you confident going into your debut?
Do you know what? I had trained really, really hard for that fight. And obviously I felt a lot of pressure being on Sky Sports in the Matchroom card, and obviously being on the Conor Benn undercard against Samuel Vargas. That was a big deal. So I felt a lot of pressure, but I was confident that I was going to get the job done. It was my debut. I knew I had to go out and perform well, and I knew I wanted to go out and perform well in front of the TV cameras, in front of everybody watching at home. So I was really pleased to go out there, get a good performance. And like you say, it was tough because the pressure was on me for my debut.
Yeah. It was a great performance in the end. Were you happy with your performance?
Yes, mate. So far, I'm 4 from 4.
Yeah.
There's been every fight that I need to improve on, but definitely, I've been happy with the end result, and we're working quietly away in the background at everything we need to. So I was delighted.
Yeah. Of course, you used to be a rugby player. What made you change to be a boxer?
So I used to play rugby for Glasgow Warriors and Jersey Reds, but coming into the last year of my professional contract with the Jersey Reds, I decided that it had always been a dream of mine to pursue boxing and see how far I could go. My grandfather was a professional boxer back in the 1950s, so I've always had an interest in the sport. And then I decided after the last contract with Jersey, I was going to give up rugby and fully train as hard as I could for boxing and see where I could get to. My goal unprofessional was actually to go to the Commonwealth Games, but just the way things have worked out, I've ended up turning professional, and I'm really happy with my decision to turn over. And I think it's an interesting story, and who knows where it's going to take me.
Yeah. Of course, you've got a big fight coming up. Is it next weekend?
Yes, mate. It's not next weekend. It is. It's not this weekend. It's the weekend after. You're right.
Yeah.
Against Ireland for the Scottish heavyweight title.
Tough fight.
Yeah, listen, they're all tough fights. Jay is probably the biggest step up in the pro ranks I've had. He's coming to win. It's a great opportunity for him too. So I think it's going to be a tough 10-round fight. I think Jay's a tough, durable guy. So he's got my respect. I've trained really hard because of that. And like I say, I'm looking forward to in front of my home fans in Glasgow, my home city, and putting on a performance and hopefully being the first Scottish heavyweight champion in 71 years.
Yeah, let's hope so, mate. Do you see a weakness in Jay? Have you watched a few because he's lost 5?
Yes.
Did you watch his? Have you watched him fight?
We actually sparred a wee while ago. Me and Jay, back when I was an amateur and Jay was a professional at the time. I don't want to give away too much now because he could be watching. So I think he's a good fighter, but there's definitely some, we've got our game plan that we're going to go and stick to. And I think that if I can go out there and execute the game plan we've put together, it's hopefully going to be a successful night for me.
Yeah. Has training gone well?
Training's gone really well. I've had 5 good sparring partners. Niall Kennedy, Tommy McCarthy, Stephen Ward, Johnny Walker from the UFC who fights this weekend, and also Sonny Bill Williams, another rugby player. two-time World Cup winner with the All Blacks. So I've had some really good sparring partners. I've done 84 rounds. Everything's went really well in training. I'm feeling good and sharp, so I really can't complain.
Yeah, Sonny Bill Williams is a good lad.
He's a great lad. Do you know what? A lot of people say never meet your heroes, but I can definitely assure you, Sonny Bill Williams is a great guy, and if anybody ever has the chance to meet him, they definitely should. He's a good fella.
Yeah. Of course, you're fighting on the undercard of Josh Taylor, fellow Scottishman, v Casserole. Do you see Josh Taylor stopping Casserole?
Do you know what? I think Jack's a very good fighter. But I think Josh is an exceptional fighter. He's obviously the first British and Scottish undisputed world champion in the four belt era, and I think Josh is a really, really special talent. So I think Jack will give a great account of himself, but I really can't see past Josh not winning. I think it's going to be Josh all day long. It might go the 12 rounds. Josh might stop him early. I'm not too sure, but I really can't see Josh not winning it. But I think also Jack's a good fighter and he'll give a good account of himself, and I think it'll be a great fight for everyone to watch.
Yeah. I'm cheering on mainly you and Josh, really.
Good man. Listen, Sam, thank you very much for that. You don't have any idea how much that means to me, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Hopefully you're going to be the Scottish champion, mate.
I hope so. Listen, I've trained really hard, mate.
Yeah.
And knowing that I've got somebody like yourself supporting me means a lot. So I'm going to go out there and do my best to bring it home and have a good result.
Yeah. I mean, it's your 5th pro fight, so like massive. 5th pro fight and you've got a title shot. It's huge, mate.
Well, I've got a lot to thank my manager for, Mark Dunlop. I've mentioned him in a couple of interviews, but he's been really instrumental in getting me this opportunity. So I've just got out there and repay his faith in me to get me this opportunity, repay the faith of all my supporters like yourself, my family, my close friends, and also my home city, Glasgow. I want to be the first Scottish champion in 71 years. So I'm going out there to do it for everybody that's supporting me. Yeah.
Do you see any weaknesses in Jay?
It's hard to say, mate. I'm not too sure. Jay's a very tough guy. So I think it's more about what I do rather than what he's going to do. If I can go out there and, like I said, execute the game plan we've been working on in training, I think it'll be a good result for me. But Jay's tough and it will take a good performance for me. I think there's weaknesses in there, but like I said, I don't want to give away too much because he might be listening and he might, pick into something I've said. So I'm just going to go out there and execute the game plan I've put in place and hope that I can get him out of there.
Yeah, I really hope so, mate. And is it the CoMain Event, is it?
I couldn't tell you, mate. I'm not too sure. I think hopefully I will be live on Sky Sports, but I really couldn't tell you. And you know what as well, Sam? I'm trying not to buy into too much of that because I just want to go out there and put on my best performance that I possibly can. If it is the main event, co-main event, and if it's the one before that, doesn't matter. It's about going out there and putting on a performance. That's all I'm focused on, mate.
Yeah, of course, mate, of course. Do you have any advice for people who are trying to get into boxing?
Train hard, dedicate yourself, live a clean life, and give it your all. I think boxing is a great sport for all levels of people. It doesn't have to be you're fighting for world titles, whatever level you want to fight at, whatever, you want to do. It's a great sport and just give it your all. And boxing will give back to you whatever you put into it. That would be my advice to anybody.
Yeah. Of course, not looking past your next opponent. But if you do manage to get past them, like, there'll be massive fights on the table for you, mate, to take.
Yeah, there could be. But like you said, I'm not looking past this fight, so I don't like to talk too much about what could be in front of me. I've got this big task in front of me in the 26th that I need to take care of first. But listen, there's loads of good British domestic heavyweights at the moment. There's loads of good heavyweights all around the planet at the moment. The most important thing for me is, like you said, to keep winning, and all these opportunities will come. But I leave that up to my management and I'll let them take care of it all for me. and
Yeah.
decide what's the next plan after it. But like you said, get this one out the road, and then it opens up a lot of good opportunities for me.
Yeah. There's lots of good British fighters at the minute coming up in heavyweight, such as Fabio Wardley as well.
Yes, there's loads, mate. There's Fabio Wardley, Johnny Fisher, Saul
Babbitt.
Dakers, Fraser Clark's making his debut this
Oh yeah,
weekend.
this weekend, yeah.
God, I've missed a couple. There's Jamie TKB making his debut soon in Boxer. You've got a couple boys
Coley could
on
move up to
BT.
heavyweight.
Coley could come up, you know what I mean? So it's a great division. There's a lot of really, really good fighters, and there's a lot of really great fights to make. And I'm just lucky to be a small part of it, mate.
Yeah. Do you get nervous before you walk out?
Yes, mate. I think every fighter gets nervous, but it's just about how you deal with those nerves. So if you're not nervous, that's when you need to worry. As long as the nerves are there, you know that you're on edge and you're ready to perform. So it's about dealing with the nerves and you making them work to your advantage. That's the key to it.
Yeah. Was it on your debut you fought without an audience? Was it weird?
It was very strange, mate. It was very strange. Even when I fought as an amateur, there was always a crowd there. So it was kind of eerie to make your debut without any crowd. Thankfully, I managed to get my dad in there. So my dad was there for my pro debut, which I was really happy with.
Yeah.
And obviously there was a little crowd there, you know, obviously officials and medical personnel and different things. So there was a little bit there, but you're right. It was very strange, very eerie. And I'm glad that we're finally getting back to normal. We can get crowds in and get a bit of atmosphere in the place.
Yeah. Going back to talking about Amir Khan v Brook, as you were talking about Fraser Clark, who do you see winning that fight, Amir Khan v Brook?
Well, I got asked the other day. I think it's a pick'em fight. I think, you know, it's a real close 50-50 fight. They've both been inactive for a while. But I just feel that Amir Khan's speed could be the undoing of Brook. And I also think there's still a wee couple of question marks over Brook's eye. That might be his undoing. So if I'm picking, I'm going to be going for Amir Khan. But like I said, I think it's a close fight and it could go either way. But my money would be on Amir Khan.
Yeah, same, mate. I think Khan would beat him as well.
I think so. If he's still got that hand speed, I think he's going to cause Brook a lot of problems.
Who's your favourite fighter currently?
My favourite fighter currently? God, that's a hard question. You know, in the heavyweight division, I would go for Tyson Fury. I really like Tyson. I think he's a great fighter. I think he's a real character and he brings a lot to the sport. I'm a big fan of his. Obviously, I'd love the opportunity to go in and spar him and get any training I possibly could with him because I feel as if I would learn a lot from somebody like that. And then anyway, I would probably go with Canelo. He's just such a good fighter. He's very entertaining and he puts a lot of bums on seats and brings a lot of attention to the sport. So Canelo is also one of my favourite fighters currently at the moment.
Yeah, did you see Fury's going to fight White?
I did see that. It's a good fight. I think Dylan White deserves his shot. He's been in a mandatory position for nearly 3 years now. So he definitely deserves his shot. And I think it's a great fight. I think Fury wins, but it's heavyweight boxing. Anything can happen. So one I'll definitely tune in for.
Yeah, same. I think Fury will stop him early.
He could, mate, but you know what? Like I said, it's one punch can change everything in heavyweight boxing. So who knows? White could hit him. You never know. All the proof's in the pudding. It'll be interesting to see how it turns out. But like I say, if I was a betting man, my money would be on Tyson Fury.
Yeah, and then Canelo as well. He's just class, isn't he?
He's class, mate. He's class. But you know what? He trains very hard. He might be the number one pound for pound fighter in the sport at the moment, but he trains harder than anybody really. So, that's when I say train hard and put everything into it. That's an example of what you can do when you apply yourself and the ability and the talent you've got.
Yeah, do you think anyone can beat him?
I can't think of anyone at the moment, but
either.
listen, stranger things have happened. I think if he stays around the super middleweight to light heavyweight, I can't really see anybody that beats him. But if he steps up to cruiserweight, who knows? That could be a weight too far. But around the super middleweight, light heavyweight, I don't think so.
Yeah. Thank you for your time, and hopefully I'll get you back on Monday Champ, mate.
Sam, it'd be a pleasure. Stick at it, mate. I think you've definitely got a future in the old interview, and you're very good. And it was a pleasure to speak to you, mate.
Thank you, mate. And the new, mate.
Soon.
You're going to win
Have
it,
a good
mate,
weekend. Yeah? God bless, mate.
Thank
See you soon.
Mate. Smash it, yeah?
See you soon, pal.
Bye. Thank you. So that was Nick Campbell. He's 4-0, fighting 4 stoppages wins versus Jay McFarlane, 12 wins, 5 defeats. Catch you later for the next one. And